Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our next math lesson is very similar to our last one. We are going to continue with patterns. You can go ahead and label the next page in your notebook tables. We are simply going to create tables today, and all a table is an organized way to show a pattern. An organized way to show a pattern. So we're just going to take the rules and the numbers that we've done before and organize those into a table. Here is an example that we are going to first do together. You go ahead and pause the video and copy this table down. If you will remember, the first thing that we're supposed to do is we are supposed to look at our pattern. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we look at a pattern in a table. We do not look we don't start by looking straight down. We're going to look and see how the weeks are going to compare to the days. So we're going to see how the first column is relating to the second column. So what is the relationship between the first and the second? So in this table here, this table is saying that in 1 week there are 7 days. Well, if that's true, then in 3 weeks there are 21 days. So in 5 weeks, how many days are there? All you have to do is determine your pattern. We are going from 7 to 21, and that does not help us with the pattern, okay? Because here we go from 1 to 3 to 5, and then we skip to 6, and then to 8. Well, that can be confusing, so be careful. Your numbers over here will not always go in order. So that's why we check to see what is the relationship between the first column and the second column. So my first column is 1 week, there's 7 days. In 3 weeks, there's 21 days. So basically what you need to determine your rule. First of all, is my relationship from 1 to 7 increasing or decreasing? Well, it's going up, so that's increasing. Are we adding or multiplying? Well, we could add 6, or we're multiplying by 7. So let's go down here. Is 3 plus 6 21? Nope. So 3 times 7, is that 21? Yes, it is. So my rule is we are going to take the weeks and multiply it by 7. Okay, and that is going to equal our days. So to figure out this day right here, we're going to take 5 weeks. We're going to multiply that by 7. You should come up with the answer of, that's right, 35 days is what goes in here. Okay, you go ahead and pause the video and come up with the next 2 answers. 6 times 7 and 8 times 7. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you look, I do not have a pattern going from top to bottom. 1, 3, 5, 6, 8. That is not a pattern. This is just, I'm asking you how many weeks. Over here, it's asking you the days. So the relationship between this column and this column. 1 times 7 is 7. 3 times 7 is 21. 5 times 7 is 35. And so on. What if I asked you to find for me What if I asked for you to find for me 10 weeks? Could you solve that? Even though that's not in a pattern? Sure you could. 10 times 7. Okay, so my 70 would go right here. All right, moving on, let's go to our next example. Remember, if you're not understanding this, stop and go back, and if you still don't get it, come see Miss Johnston. But before you come see me, rewind it and watch it again, okay? Let's go over here to... We have a number of packs, okay? How many juice packs, okay? There are, in 1 pack of juice, like those boxes of juices that you get at the store, in 1 pack there's 3 boxes. In 2 packs there's 6 boxes. In 3 packs there's 9 boxes. So the first thing we need to determine is our rule, or is our relationship increasing or decreasing? Well, from 1 to 3 is increasing, 2 to 6 is increasing, 3 to 9 is increasing. So now we're going to check addition. 1 plus 2 is 3. Is 2 plus 2 6? Nope, so let's try it again. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Is 3 times 3 9? I sure did. So when you write the rule, when you are looking at a table, I do not want you to write down just times 3. I want you to write down, what are we talking about here? What is this relationship? So for my rule, I'm going to write down my packs times 3 will equal my juice boxes. Okay, so that'll help us remember our pattern. So I'm going to plug this in for 4 times 3. And then we're going to do it for 5. Let's go ahead and do it for, oops, we skipped all the way to 10. See how we are not going in numerical order? I can't just say 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. This number is not 20 because this number is not 6. Or I mean 18. Sorry, this is not 8. This one's not 18 because this one's not a 6. So I have to plug my numbers in. When I have 10 packs, I'm still multiplying by 3, and my answer is going to equal 30. What about when I have 100? Same thing. 100 times 3 equals 300. So go ahead and copy all this down if you haven't already and put that in your notebook. The last thing I want you to do is I want you to read this word problem. Now please remember our problem-solving pencil. Read this word problem, use our, maybe even copy it down. Use our problem-solving pencil. And I want you to copy down, or create a table rather, create a table. I'll even give you a hint. Your table will have 2 columns. We have 1, 3, 4. Your table will need to look something like this. Your table need to look something like that. And then you'll have leaflets and clover leaves on one side, okay? I would put your clover leaves right here. Okay, so it's asking you, okay, if I have a clover leaf, I'm going to turn that into clover leaves. Clover leaf is 1, clover leaves is more than 1, and then your leaflets. Okay, so I have clover leaves on one side, leaflets on the other side. Okay, and then plug in your numbers. When I have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10, how many leaflets do I have? When you are done filling this out, check it carefully, plug those numbers back in. Remember our problem-solving pencil. We always check and see if that makes sense. Could you draw a picture of a clover? Could you draw 1 clover and put 3 leaves on it and then do the same for each of the others? Absolutely. I also want to see your rule. I want to see your rule. Remember, I want to see your rule written like this. I want to see your rule written like this, not just a times 3 or a times 2 or whatever. I want to see it written like that. When you're done, make sure you check it and bring that to Mrs. Johnston. If you need help, re-watch this video or come back and see me, ask me for help.